Alright, we got the passenger side valve cover off. We had to go back in here and disconnect the AC lines and disconnect this AC line that goes into the dryer, and we were able to get the valve cover off. Got all the bolts out of the timing cover, and we're about to take the timing cover off and do the timing job. So after inspecting, noticed my noise is most likely coming from the slack in the chain. I push down this guide right here, the slack goes away. So I know that this tensioner's not pushing out enough oil. Gasket's probably blown, so I'll take them off. So I got both of my chain tensioners off, and the driver's side was the one that was not giving enough tension on the chain. So I got it off on the driver's side, and as you can see right up here, the top right corner, this is the culprit right here. The gasket blew out through here, causing the oil to leak out, which didn't give me enough tension on my chain, and which caused the chain slapping noise. Fortunately, all my guides are intact, so they're not broken in pieces. So I don't have to drop the oil pan to make sure there's no pieces in there. So that's good. I will be cleaning all the surfaces off and replacing my tensioners with metal tensioners, so I won't have the gasket issue. Metal tensioners made up directly to the surface of the block and don't need gaskets. So a little update on the truck. I started on it on a Saturday and ran into some complications. What I was trying to do is change the oil pump, and I got the old one off and the new one on, and I was hooking up the pickup tube, and right below the oil pump is the oil pan, and I was putting in the bottom bolt for the pickup tube, and if you drop the bolt, it lands right there and you can reach it with your fingers, but which I dropped it several times because it was kind of difficult to get on. And one of the times I dropped it, it rolled down to the lower part of the oil pan, which you can't reach from the top. So long story short, it's Thursday. I ordered a couple things online, one of which was a flexible pickup tool that has a magnet in. I was able to snake in through the drain plug, grab the bolt, and push it up, back up to the area on top of the oil pan where you could reach with your hand from the front. So I did that, got the bolt out, and then I used a flex head 8mm wrench, which I don't know that you can get that lower bolt into the pickup tube without it. So definitely pick yourself up one of these. It was like, it's an off-brand, it's not like the Craftsman version. I think it was like 12 or 13 bucks on Amazon. Definitely need one of these. So I got the oil pump on, and now I am moving on to the rest of the job. So, a little update. It is on a Thursday, and this is about, let's see, a week and a half, 2 weeks since I started my project on my truck, changing the timing chains and redoing the roller followers and latch adjusters on the top end. And I got off work. I was waiting for my inch-pound torque wrench to come in. I had ordered one on Amazon because I had a foot-pound one, and I just didn't feel comfortable trying to, because you had to put the foot-pound at a pretty low setting for some of the inch-pound specs, and I couldn't get it locked in, and I didn't feel comfortable in some of the bolts that I had it tensioned down correctly. So I bought a inch-pound torque wrench, and basically, long story short, I ordered it on this past Friday, so almost a week ago, because tomorrow is Friday. So for a Saturday delivery, so it was supposed to be next day, and I paid like an extra $10 for that. So that didn't happen, obviously, and I had to kind of just continue the job and be careful with my foot-pound wrench and torquing some of that stuff. And so now that I got the inch-pound wrench, what I'm doing is kind of going to go back over some of the same bolts and just make sure they're torqued down correctly and finish the job. So I got the wrench, I'm heading back over. So my truck has been in my in-laws. It's been in my in-laws' garage, and I've actually been driving around my father-in-law's Audi, and it's convertible. It's been nice. It's not my truck for sure, but it's been nice. I've been driving that around. I'm ready to give it back to him. I'm excited finally get back over there. I'm gonna try to get as much done tonight as I can. So yeah. So I mentioned in my update video that I had dropped the bolt, changing out the oil pump. I dropped the bolt into the oil pan, and it fell down to the bottom part. So I'm going to kind of describe what I did and show you on video, so you can kind of get an idea. Maybe it might work for you if you're in the same situation. I'm under the truck. Here's the oil pan. I bought this. This is the magnetic reacher tool I was telling you about. It's bendable, and this piece is magnetic. So what I did was I went, let's try to, it wants to attach to everything because it's magnetic. So I went right into the oil pan hole, and I kind of just fished around. There's a natural dip so the oil can drain out easy, right around in here. And so I knew that the oil pan bolt, I knew that the pickup tube bolt was down in here somewhere. So I kind of I angled the magnet kind of like that, went in through the hole and kind of angled it. Like I went in and then rotated it and kind of just felt around inside until I heard it attach, kind of like that, to the bolt. And then once I attached to the bolt, I kind of just, in the open air inside of the pan with the bolt, I kind of just pushed up without hitting anything, and I can kind of hear it as I was going up into the pan. I can kind of hear it tap a little bit against the side to kind of know where I was. And then I got all the way up to the front, and I tried it on the other side, and I kept hitting what I believe was the oil pan. I kept hitting what I thought was the pickup tube. So the right side might be a little harder. So I went to the left side and went all the way up, and it was right in there. I could see it sticking out in there. So I was able to reach my fingers right down in there and grab the bolt. If you're in the same situation, hang in there. Try. I'll link to the magnet pickup tool that I used, and I bought another one, but it ended up coming the next day, and it probably would have worked too. So I'll link to both of those, and maybe you can try one of them, and hopefully those will help you. So I went with the metal tensioners instead of the plastic tensioners, and when I did and I took off my old tensioners, there's a lot of varnish on the surface area, so I'm gonna try to clean that off as best I can. So hopefully this helps. Looks like on the driver's side, and then on the passenger side. So I'm gonna try to clean these as best I can. Try to do it very gently so I don't scratch the surface at all, to make a better seal, because those metal gaskets don't have any those metal tensioners don't have any gaskets on the back side, and so it's just metal to metal, and that's how it seals. And so I'm gonna try to clean that up here. Wow, that cleaned up pretty good. Yeah, I barely rubbed my Scotch-Brite on there, Scotch-Brite pad, and got rid of a lot of that varnish around there, which makes it feel a lot better. And I didn't have to rub too hard. Hopefully this doesn't make it worse, but it's important to make sure, so whatever it is using the Scotch-Brite, there's like fine particles. So try to cover as much as you can so you don't get those particles anywhere, so it ends up in your engine. and so it ends up in the oil or the coolant. And I'm going to hit this with a little bit of brake clean. Let's go ahead and do the other side. Just barely wiped. Well, I had the driver's side chain on, and I didn't really have anything tightened down too much for the guide or the tensioner, so I just kind of pulled it back off because I wanted to get the tensioner surface clean. So now that I've done that, I'm going to put the chains back on, and on the driver's side, and then move over to the passenger side and do that. Alright, driver's side. I've got my chain over the L, got my sprocket on, and I got my chain on the dot. I already checked with the mirror. I'm gonna go down there and check again. The dot is in the right spot on the chain, up top and at the bottom on the sprocket. And these are the OEM metal tensioners from the 2-valve. Now onto the passenger side. Don't forget to torque these 8mm to 89 inch-pounds. So I'm using my phone, my battery's gonna die, so I got everything torqued down on the front. I'm just gonna go over everything and kind of check it and wrap up a couple things and be done for tonight. So I've been battling power steering pump all day long. When we were taking it off, or when we were trying to get the power steering pump off, we were having a hard time getting the lower bolt. So we were attempting to take off the pulley, and we used the wrong type of puller. So it bent the power steering pulley. So putting everything back together, we noticed that the lower high pressure line was leaking, so I had to buy a new one and replace it, which wasn't very easy. It was hard to get the line in into the pump. I had to also rent a power steering pump puller and installer kit from O'Reilly's. After I got that installed, after I got the pulley installed and got the hose installed, I finally got it on the front, but this is after I put the cover on, and so I finally got the cover on and all the timing components done. The power steering pulley just set me back several hours messing with that. So finally got the front cover on. Next thing is putting the roller followers on both sides, and I'll be able to put the valve covers on. This is my new power steering pulley. Someone told me to show what the roller followers look like one of my videos. So this is a roller follower. It sits on top of the lash adjuster and valve spring. And I got all new of these for my timing job. So I'm going to install all of these. I had a couple that were bad, but I'm glad I replaced all of them, because you know, one goes bad, that can ruin your motor or ruin your cams. This valve spring compressor tool I got online. It's not the expensive OTC one. Actually, this is actually like a cheaper brand I found, and it works great to compress the valve spring, so you can put it in the roller follower. I will link in this video below this particular item that I found, and hopefully you can find it useful as well. So this video is a week later. I was running out of time, so I didn't really get to record anything else, but good news is got her back together. She started right up. Today we're actually going to be recharging the AC system. I ran out of time last week and didn't get to do that, so got the lines connected and everything, so we're going to pull a vacuum and recharge the AC system. So I kind of left the last clip, kind of just stopped. I didn't get any more footage, but I wanted to add this at the end of the video to kind of close it out. Everything that you saw had been like, as of right now, probably 7-8 months ago. We got the AC system recharged, and it held, and everything stayed pretty cool. But the truck has been running pretty amazing since then. I noticed a decent amount of horsepower after I did the job, and I haven't had any issues. The only thing, and I didn't mention this in the video, the main thing that I forgot to do when I put everything back together, there's like four or five spots, or actually 4 spots at the top of the motor, where you're supposed to put in some sealant or some gasket, some silicone, and it's where the valve cover meets up to the front of the engine cover, and I forgot to do that. So it was actually leaking oil for 2-3 weeks until I had time to lift up the valve covers a little bit and squirt some in there. But after I did that, it fixed the leak. I should have paid more attention when I was putting everything back together, but I wanted to do a more thorough explanation on everything, but I mean, it's my daily driver, and I was trying to get everything back together, and I was running out of time, and so I didn't get to film everything that I wanted to film, but that's why I'm recording this video right here, to kind of close everything out and say that the job was well worth it. I had to sell a motorcycle, my first motorcycle actually, to buy the parts to do the job, which is kind of a bummer. But if you would, subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed yet, and like this video, and be looking forward to some more content that I'm putting out soon, and look forward to you liking, commenting, and telling me about other things that you guys like doing with your truck and working on your trucks or vehicles or whatnot. And I appreciate you stopping by my channel and checking out this video, and I hope you have a great day.